want to be back in the top of the ladder, fairly quickly next season. This year I wanted to be in the playoffs, but unfortunately we couldn't make it. But next year I'm not going to accept failure.
I'd like to think there'll be a significant improvement for next season. We are going to be extremely competitive, and I really think that we're going to be vying for the top 6. I know we're going to be much, much better next year, so we ain't going to be finishing bottom of the table, and we're not going to be conceding those amounts of goals that you mentioned early on. We mean business. I don't want to say things like, oh, look, it's going to take 3, 4, 5 years. No, it doesn't work that way. Rosario is the type of guy that you can see what's happened at Catania. They resurrected teams there within 6 months. Managers came and went 2, 3 times. So one thing with the Pelligra group is if it's not working out, they are eager to move things and change things, and that's probably me included. If I don't deliver for this club, and we're having this conversation this time next year, and we're not competitive and we're not doing what I promised, then I won't be here either, Peter.
Enjoy it, Raw fans. Brisbane Raw get a win.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 29 of the Glory Days podcast. We are back. Will's feeling even more depressed than ever because Will is back with us here, unfortunately, and now we're being squeezed off of the table. But in all seriousness...
Thoughts and prayers for Josh in the comments.
Thoughts and prayers for our sanity, considering the recent result that we've had. The focus of this episode in a large part. We just lost 3-1 at home to bottom of the table Brisbane Roar, and we are destined for another wooden spoon in the A-League. That is now 3 in 4 years if we do take it this season.
Yep.
And, we are taking it at the moment, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
Lads, there's a lot to discuss today. In particular, questions over the coach, questions over the players, questions over... Management in general.
Yep.
But holy shit, James, kick us off with what's bound to be probably one of the most heated episodes we've got.
We say this every week. Well, we say...
Because it doesn't get any fucking better.
It doesn't get any better, and they haven't changed our minds yet. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The fans definitely kicked it off, though, so we'll get on with the comments. We had Stephen saying, no on-field leadership, Taggart not a good captain, players playing for themselves, not the team. Where is Labib? Must be a very bad injury. Hasn't played in weeks, yet nobody knows anything.
I will just say on Labib, I did see him at the MPL games.
I'm pretty sure he had a clean out in his knee.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing any braces or he wasn't on crutches or anything. He was walking fine. It's just, obviously...
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see him for the rest of the season.
Stephen also said, no defensive pressure in midfield, no attacking intent, pass backwards and sideways. Chicken Treat Fan Club, good to see him back in the comments. The only good piece of news I got regarding Gloria last night is when I was told we only have 5 games left this season. There's no feasible metric in which you could advocate for David Drilic to stay. Can't help but feel sorry for the handful of players who actually care about this club, to be honest. Muller, nobody has another season's worth of patience to sit through mind-numbing presses with Drilic going on about new team, new squad, match fitness, etc. or a bunch of moronic sound bites from Stan.
Yeah.
Quietly move them both on after the last round. James Merrin. Last season's stage had injuries, players forced to leave against their will, players not getting paid. No owners, and we still played, at times, exciting attacking football.
Correct.
Under Drilic, we've got new owners, new players, less injuries, and we've gone backwards. See you, Drilic. Yeah. Daniel Del Barello. Perth Glory season has been like a burger at HBF Park with no patty, plenty of build-up, a few toppings, but ultimately missing the meat. A tactical identity that's harder to find than a parking spot at HBF Park, and a defence leakier than a WA.
That's good.
And a defence leakier than a WA rental roof in winter.
Get him.
Couple more. Jordan, first 30 minutes was actually good. Then we didn't give a fuck for the remainder of the game. We need to renew Luke Amos's contract at the end of the season. The bloke is an absolute gun. Our best signing since Taggart for sure.
Yep.
And then Alex, he said, don't think there is a single player or member of the coaching staff where I'd be genuinely disappointed if they weren't at the club next season. And then finally, Tom, please don't forget to give Stan his fair share of credit for this absolute mess. He signed the players and the coach.
Don't worry.
Don't you worry, Tom.
We may as well kick it off with our...
Should we start with the positives?
No, because you're a negative Nancy. No, but well, no, it's bull. But I guess some initial thoughts from the game. As like a quick, if we were to do like a headline, let's say from the match to describe it, like one sentence, like those news headlines to describe the match. What would we describe that match as?
Man returns home from holiday, instantly wants to die.
Alex?
Yeah.
What would your headline be?
Man wants to die, needs to go on holiday.
Josh?
Honestly, I couldn't even see the match half the time because I was the reflection from Ruben's head blinded me.
A bit more than one sentence there, man.
Sponsored by Mr. Sheen. Do you have like a headline day for the game? Like, as in, like, if you were to say like
Disappointing.
Yeah, fairs.
Yeah.
Wax on, wax
Disappointing. Full stop. What about you, James?
Ruben dunks on us. Zrilic, Lazaridis, sayonara.
Honestly, the thing that makes me the most mad is the fact that I saw Zadkovic happy.
Well, he celebrated like a motherfucker every time he scored. That's
Yeah.
the thing. So
Yeah,
I mean, but I can't blame him.
He was one goal short of hitting the Alan Pardew dancing celebration, man.
Or the Steve Bruce running on the field.
The Steve
FIFA, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Out sprinting all of his players.
Full sprint. So we may as well get into our thoughts on the lineup. So there was only one change with Pat Wood out and Jalen Pearman in. I think we can all fairly agree on this. That was our best team. Without Labib, probably that was our best team possible.
Yep.
I don't really think Zrilla could have done much other than maybe have put in an Asmo to start over Miller Jusnic.
Yeah.
And then have Lockie Wales off the right wing and then Joel off the left wing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, there's like a vendetta against Joel and Asmo to the point where it's like, well, I'm not going to even bring you on at half time.
Yeah, it's confusing because, I mean, I've got quite a few notes from that game. I'll be completely honest. It's the first time I've watched a full 90 minutes of Glory since I've been back, because I deliberately.
Yeah, no shit, mate.
Yeah,
Been back 3 days.
No, but I could have watched it on while I was gone.
Yeah.
But I didn't deliberately because I'm like, you know what, I just can't
preserve your sanity.
I want to enjoy my holiday.
That's
actually.
basically. I watched the game. What was it? I think we lost 4-0 or something like that.
Wanderers.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And then I never watched. That was it. That was the first week I was gone. I watched the game. We got thumped. I was like, you know what? Nah.
And then we got the segment of you having a go at
That Ross with the piano in the background.
Yeah, that was a masterpiece from me. No, but I'll bring one of the points, the notes now. I don't understand, and again, as we always have to say this, I'm Trent, I'm sure, you're a lovely bloke, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand why Joel is the last option and how Millet and Trent get picked first and then Anasmo is the attacking option we bring on. I don't understand it because I don't know if it's just a lack of wanting to play or just motivation's out the window. Both of those things are totally valid, but 20 minutes into the second half and Trent's already jogging back like he's knackered. Like he's not. There's no defensive pressure. He's not even trying.
It's 1-1 at half time, and your thought, in the sense of trying to get more goals and cause more chaos, is to bring on. No offense to Trent, but Joel would have. Once Joel came on, there was more dynamism. There was more energy.
As there always is. Every time.
It just didn't work. No offense to Millet. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he just doesn't really. His output's poo. He doesn't add anything.
Well, whose output has been good this season?
Yeah. I would have much rather Millet stayed on than bring up the swap him on for Trent, because I thought Millet was at least. He did 2/3 of the things right. He just couldn't finish it off, but that's more than what Trent offered when he.
I think there's a good case to make that David Zrilic might have a severe case of schizophrenia because he's seeing things that we clearly do not see in Trent Osler.
But no, because there's things happening.
Oh yeah, sorry.
He's doing. It's in the background. It's in the background.
Yeah.
How could I
it's in the background. How can you forget that?
Guys?
I don't think Trent's a bad player.
No,
because he doesn't have the acceleration.
We have said this. We've said this so many times. And here's the thing: when you have Lockie Wales in his first 2 games, goal and an assist, right, on fire, you then put him on the weaker side, the left wing, where he can't make use of his pace and ability to beat a player 1-on-1 on the outside.
Yeah.
So you just neutered your best attacking winger. in favour of bringing back Miliousnich, who's had 2 bad hamstring injuries this season, can't fully sprint as we've seen, hasn't been able to beat a man one-on-one in what seems like the entire season now.
Shooting is fucking
And
scary.
then, yep.
Yeah.
And
He's
then,
rode triples
then you
down
have the
half of
option to put Lockie Wales back on his stronger side and at half-time bring on Joel Anasmo, who's known to cause lots of problems for fullbacks, especially when running at them.
Especially at
He's able
home.
to cut inside or use the line. And you bring on Trent Osler.
It's the same with.
I don't understand it.
It's the same with Pearman and Franey. Like, why was he playing Franey as a winger? Like he's an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
His-
Like,
it's
honestly.
It's just frustrating.
His selections have been baffling, and I mean, even though Luke Amos and Nick Pennington we thought were going to be a good midfield pairing together, well, they don't work in the way David wants them to work.
No.
And
I have said this as well. They would work so much better in a midfield 3.
Yes.
we but how,
yeah.
In a midfield, if you put that, if you put them in a midfield 3 with either
Gamorka sitting or O'Neill sitting.
you could do O'Neill, you could do Gamorka, you could do Franey. Any of those 3, I think, would ultimately raise the quality of that midfield.
Yeah.
Even if you want to put Pearman ahead, play 4-2-3-1.
how long- but-
Pennington and Amos sit and allow Pearman to
How
go
long have
forward.
we had this debate or this theory though of like, well, why not change and experiment 2 or 3 man midfield? We've been saying this ever since the bye where we brought in those new guys in. It's like, well, why not tinker with the shape, see if you can get a different, level of output from some of the players. And I understand, well, you sort of want to be stubborn with your brand of football, but we've now got to a point where after 21 games, 2 wins.
Yeah.
And
I think when I was sitting next to you, like even after we scored and were ahead, I said like this 2-man midfield's not working.
no, it's not. We don't control games. Period.
Yeah,
because
and we've seen as well with Pearman and Franey, they have pretty good defensive metrics, which is a large portion as to why they.
That's
do
why
so
he's
well.
wanting to chuck him out in the wing though, along with Osler.
But I don't understand that shit though. It's just like, oh great, my wingers can defend, but can't fucking score anything, and we concede 2 more goals when we have our defense. We're going back to Bobby Firmino type shit, defensive striker, defensive winger.
Yeah.
I'm about to see overlapping centre back next season. It's going to be no, honestly, mate. That's not even an insult.
No,
I'm our
it's
best
true.
player, mate.
Did you guys see that Pearman was dropping like really deep, like almost like back with the centre backs at times, so like to play long balls over the top? Like he wasn't involved up top as anywhere near as much as I
Well,
think he should.
our dynamics have stunk throughout the whole season, and we'll obviously touch on it a little bit more when we get into the second half. But
of course.
we were. Josh did say, were there any positives? I think Luke Amos's goal was probably the only positive that was there throughout the whole game.
I've said this like the last few episodes, but players isn't our solution because genuinely, if like with our current players, like obviously you'd have to add a few in, but we genuinely have some like Mortakudis, Amos, Pennington, Taggart. Like we've got a good squad.
We have a good squad.
It's a squad that shouldn't be falling out to Brisbane.
I love how you're thinking of like the top tier players in our squad. Players that are going to take us to the
but,
next
like,
level.
it's a
Your
good-
first name is Mortakudis. I love Mortakudis. I just love how
Cass
he's
wouldn't
the
be the
first
first
name.
name, but we get. But the point's fair. But with Amos though, like that goal itself, a little bit of creativity, a little bit of clever link-up play, which we haven't seen between he and Tags.
Yeah.
Great flick over, and then Tags laying it back. I was midway through eating one of those bullshit fucking chicken wings that are almost impossible. Almost choked on one of them, and I think that at that point that was where Amos rocketed in top corner. But I don't know if you guys saw the replay. There was absolutely no movement on it. It just knuckled.
That was an
top corner.
outrageous finish.
Fantastic goal.
Outrageous.
But I can't help but be the only one here and think that. I think it's probably consistent, but even though we were 1-0 up, I didn't think we were really in control, despite the fact that we created a few somewhat decent chances.
What was that XG?
Well, that shot from Amos was 0.01.
Yeah, yeah. So,
But yeah, our XG was still higher than Brisbane's apparently.
Because we had, I think Taggart's one where he hit it straight at Matt Acton, I think.
Tass had a good chance and Taggart had a
Taggart had a good chance. But I think even still, we're playing a little bit better than normal. I was saying to Josh when we were up there, I was like, well, this is Brisbane.
Yeah.
Like, it's all well and good doing it against Brisbane, but you've got Auckland, Western, Adelaide as 3 of your next, 5 or 6 games, or 5 games. And they're all teams towards the top, especially Auckland and Western.
Yeah.
and Brisbane were last, and they just looked like they cared more.
Well, they showed more.
They showed more passion.
This means ball.
Well, they did. We may as well. Any other thoughts on Amos's goal?
I think this side in particular, the last few years has been like crying out for someone who has the guts and the ability to be able to strike a ball from that far out and actually do something with it.
Yeah, since Griffiths probably.
Since Griffiths or Marenkovic.
Yeah.
Someone who can actually take those shots and at least force a save. So, if that's the kind of player we've got our hands on, there's no reason that we shouldn't try our hardest to keep him on. But in our current state, it wouldn't surprise me if 3 or 4 A-League clubs do come in and say, hey, we'll give you a chance at winning something and more money. Here you go. So I wouldn't be surprised. But in terms of that, the actual goal itself, I thought it was brilliant in terms of just, I've got nothing going on for me. No one's making any runs. I'll do it myself then.
Foot like attraction.
Brilliant. It was one of the best goals I've ever seen live. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
No.
No.
Brilliant.
Great, Alex. Cool. Abubakar. His goal.
Abubakar.
I was saying his name.
It's not the same one, is it?
Abubakar.
Not the Abubakar you think.
Played in Turkey for ages.
No, it's not that one.
It's not the guy that scored. It's not
I
the
was
guy
gonna
that
say-
scored for Cameroon to beat Brazil in the World Cup. Take off his shirt, second yellow, red
that's
card,
right,
and
yeah.
daps up the ref as he goes.
No, that
off.
was a stupid
That
question.
was fucking brilliant.
That
by
was
the
a
way.
stupid question, but the last name is.
No,
it's football heritage.
But is the goal that he got? I think it was just a combination of shit because it was.
Oh, it was awful.
The press got done, and on the replay you could hear both David Drilic and Tommy Vidovic screaming for Jalen Pearman because he was engaged in that duel.
Yeah.
Lost it. Press got done. Abubakar had the keys to Perth down that side, or about Abubakar, whatever his fucking name is.
A-League docu.
No one decided to go and tackle him.
Mate, bro, I was like watching him play. I'm like, oh, this guy's actually good. We should sign someone like him. And then I'm like, yeah, he's shit. Like he couldn't do it.
But that's the thing. We made it.
And he scored against us.
Yeah.
But he had the keys to Perth. No one decided. Very well to slip the pass under.
Boo.
I don't know what the fuck was going on with our backline, but we couldn't clear it. And then just a simple tap in or a poke from Abubakar, and he goes straight over to old mate Zadkovic, and gives him a high five. And we're sort of in that position where it's like, well, that goal from Amos was almost all for nothing.
Yeah.
Can't defend.
Yeah, and it is. It's so hard not to then. Honestly, for me, that was like the only two major things that happened in the first half. Like we were bad, but we weren't awful. It's when we got into the second half where we went from bad to
poo.
Yeah, just awful, like worse than awful. So, just awful defending again, and so often is the theme. You just think it can't get much worse.
It can.
Somehow the defending got worse as the game got on. It was just an insane thing to watch. I went to the game for the first time with my parents the first time in about 3 years.
Yeah.
And they hadn't really been keeping up with it because, I don't blame them. There's nothing really to keep up with. I come home every weekend and sad, so they know exactly what's happened. But it was a nice experience for them. I will say the match day experience itself was good. But they were just talking to me like, "Is this it? Is this what happens?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is it."
And that was from a football perspective, as in like,
from they're watching the game, they're like,
Yeah.
"Is this what happens now? Like that's the kind of goals that we're conceding?" I'm like,
Well, that's how we play now.
"Yeah, that's how we play now." And my mum was just in shock. She was like, "What happened? 5 years ago, we were just doing this and that." I'm like, "I know."
If we get the spoon again, that's 3 spoons in 4 years.
Yep.
That is like
Weren't we recently, like 5 years ago, one of the only teams in the A-League who'd never gotten the spoon?
Yes.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and now we've got like arguably
Spoons.
probably got the most.
COVID killed us for that season where we won it through.
Yeah, but
Sturridge
I know
season.
I excused that
But
because of COVID.
but then there's obviously you've won that spoon, haven't really gone anywhere since then.
No.
And then how we played in the second half, we didn't put in a compelling case at all to say we are desperate to
We
avoid
didn't
the
put
wooden
any
spoon.
case. There was no
That's the thing.
case.
The funny thing was during the week you had the comments from
Oh yeah.
Murchula and Jacob Burns,
Yeah.
both of whom were involved in successful environments, notably that 18-19 season where it's like, we're not talking about the spoon, we're talking about winning the premiership.
Yeah.
And their comments were like, it'll be a disaster. Jacob Burns said it would be a catastrophic or something like that if we got the spoon. Meanwhile, you got Driller in his presser sort of going like, oh, we don't talk about the spoon, we just want to win every sort of game and, yada. And just not really showing any sense of urgency for our situation. And is it Sam Klein? Had his 21st birthday.
Samuel Klein. Yep.
Yep. Fucking shit defending. It was a corner. Pennington was marking Klein. Had his bearings and his reference before the ball went to Abubakar. But then as it went to Abubakar, Klein dropped off Pennington was focused on the ball, not on his man. And Klein backs off a little bit. Abubakar heads the ball across the box. Great volley, and then Amos can't do much on the line. But
Yeah.
I guess in terms of some thoughts on the goal, boys, I thought just a really sloppy way to start the second half.
It was unsurprising. You know, when it hit the back of the net, I was like, oh, there it is. You know, it was more like a when's it going to happen, not if. It did really feel like that.
Yeah.
It just because of the way it was going, you know, it's pretty hard to, you know, I've played these games before, you know, like I've seen it happen. It was just awful. Like we couldn't defend a set piece to save our lives that game.
No.
I know we've been bad all season, but specifically this one, it was like fair play to Brisbane. All the deliveries they were putting in were pretty good balls. Like they had, you know, they were causing trouble every single time they got any corner or any kind of free kick.
Or even when they attacked.
Yeah, there was just traffic cone defending. Like it just seemed like nobody wanted to attack the ball. You know, when we get onto third goal, that was arguably the worst we conceded, in my opinion. But this goal, it was another. You know, all it takes is one boot to ball, clear it, move on. That's all it takes, and
Or just like clear it.
that's what I'm saying.
It
Just
out.
get a
Show
foot on
some-
it, get rid of it. That's it. Kick it out for a throw, reset. That's if in doubt, get it out. And just both the first two goals, no one wanted to have an attempt to even try that.
Josh and Alex, any thoughts? That just fed up with it. There were a couple chances before the third goal. O'Shea could have made it 3 when Jelacic skipped past Mortakutis and then cut it back. Shot through it, went over the bar. Missau somehow managed to send it into row Z.
Oh yeah,
Fucking that was just summed up our night. Halloran had a shot that narrowly missed, and obviously Brisbane thought it could have been a corner. And then Mortakutis had the header straight at the goalkeeper. Before we touch on Sam Klein's second goal, one point I did want to make, and it was fairly consistent among all the Glory fans throughout the game. I thought the refereeing was a joke. I thought it was a fucking shambles. It's got nothing. First of all, it's got nothing
we need
to
to
do
address this. This has nothing to do with the gender of the referee.
No, it has nothing to do with
it. It has to do with the fact that the referee for the game was fucking dog shit.
Terrible.
And the moment that highlighted this, we all agreed on this. The moment that highlighted this was when in the lead up to Sam Klein's second goal, Taggart snaps a Brisbane Roar player.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The ref then runs up to the Brisbane Roar player who is holding their ankle down injured. She's given them the free kick, runs over to him, and gives him the yellow card while he's there on the floor.
Yeah.
And the Brisbane players are justifiably like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, O'Shea turns to her and he's just like,
What?
Wait, what?
It was the same
That
for
was pretty funny.
She then had to go over to the linesman and ask, oh, wait,
who was it for?
who do I give the card to?
It's like,
And then she then corrects herself,
Yeah.
goes back and gives it to Tag.
It's the same-
A whole 2 minutes after. It took her a minute to go and ask the linesman.
There was another one after because beforehand in the first half, because it was Murchula and someone else from Brisbane that were involved in a head knock.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the FIFA rules are if you have head treatment, you have to go off.
Yeah.
Correct.
She only sent Murchula off.
Yeah, not the
It was
other one.
Henry Hoare. Henry Hoare, that was right.
Yeah.
Didn't send him off, and Murchula was going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he be coming off with me? I just felt she had no control of the game.
She lost control in the first 15 minutes.
Lost control. Yeah.
When Tommy was in the box having the was it Henry that was backing into Ollie?
Yeah.
Right. When she let that go after one time of going in and she just gave up basically.
Yeah.
That's when she lost it. That's when both sides realised they could have their own way with the game and just throw elbows, do whatever the hell they wanted.
Brisbane definitely went for a little bit more with their aggression.
Oh, 100%.
The referee was way too weak in her decision. And look, another one for me. All right, this is a bit more of a niche one, but it just kind of pissed me off and showed that the referee was completely out of their depth. There was one in the corner where I think it was in the first half. I can't really. No, it was the second half. Sorry, Murchula is in the corner with one of their players. Goes tackle them. They get a free kick. Whatever.
Yeah.
The player then turns, goes up to the referee, and starts gesturing like that for a yellow card.
That was a shame. wasn't
That is supposed to be an automatic yellow.
Yeah.
That's in the FIFA rules that you
I
can't
did see
gesture
that,
for a yellow card or VAR screen.
Yeah.
That's an automatic yellow. He goes in front of the ref. Does this. Does this.
Yep.
She does nothing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Murchula then turns around
Says, hey, what the fuck?
and
That should be
says,
a card.
and says, you can't do this. You can't do this. He's doing that. And she just goes like this.
It's
I'm just like, oh my
and again,
God,
it's
man.
like she's on work experience, like
honestly.
it's
teacher's aid.
Well, it's nothing against. Again, it's got nothing to do with Casey Rybelt being a woman. It's just we would say the same if it was Chris
Chris Griffiths-Jones. That's the exact name that came to my head.
Or if it was Sean Evans.
Or whatever that. Who's the blonde bloke who's
The Mark
official?
Goldbridge dude?
Yeah.
The Mark Goldbridge referee.
Shit.
Oh, shit. He's bloody done it.
Kurt Ames, is it?
No.
Is that his name?
Shane Skinner.
Shane Skinner.
He's the worst ref in the
There
league.
are some. There are some.
Shane Skinner.
But that's
You know, the best part about sitting in VIP seating is Shane Skinner, when he's fourth official, is able to hear you call him a fat cunt.
No.
It is the
Fuck,
best.
don't
It is the
do that.
best thing. Do not
Welcome to the United
by
States.
yelling at the staff.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Microphone's down. I believe Josh has been trying to say something
Yeah, go
for
on,
the
Josh.
last 5 minutes.
I've forgotten.
Oh,
The
okay.
ref? No. Well, again, yeah. I just think, but again, we shouldn't be using the referee not having control
No,
of the
I
game
was
to
saying
excuse our performance.
Even if she ref the perfect game, we wouldn't have won.
No.
There's not her fault that we lost.
No.
But it was evidently obvious to everybody. I think both sets
teams, yeah.
both teams,
Yeah.
both the fans, that it was pretty poor.
Yeah.
And honestly, I have no idea who she is. I don't know how many games she's reffed.
She's
how
ref.
experienced
She's
she
reffed a
is.
few dudes games before, but she's predominantly A-League women's.
Dudes games.
I got you.
Dudes games.
Right. Yeah, I'd never seen her
With the
before, but
boys.
she must be fairly new. Look, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has bad games, bad days at the office.
Yeah.
I just hope that
That
now.
was really fucking bad.
Right. But I just hope now she can
Next
come
time.
back. Next time,
Yeah.
she'll learn that
Yeah.
she kind of.
She
'cause
needs to learn how to read books on the FIFA rulings.
Well, just
That would be helpful.
That'd be
That would
helpful.
Look, I get it. I had the conversation with my dad. I was like, look,
Yeah.
it was a really bad game. As long as she learns from it and she can go and forward in her career and be better at, that's
Yep.
totally fine. But the thing that really got under my skin was that, everyone gets 15 minutes at halftime to regroup and
Yep.
refocus. And I thought to myself, you know what, she can use this time to go back in and maybe,
talk to the linos and the fourth
maybe
official.
understand
Yeah.
she hasn't had a great game
Yeah.
so far,
Yeah.
reset and
Yeah.
go back out, have a strong second half, and
Yeah.
somehow got worse.
I just think overall the ref didn't really have much control of the
Even
game.
buddy,
Wasn't consistent.
yeah.
For both sides.
What's his name? The buddy, the Aussie guy that went to England.
Jared Gillett.
Jared Gillett was good.
Fucking not for 2012.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, not for 2012.
Allowed a cheat to somersault.
I thought he was good after that.
So we'll discuss Klein's second goal. That for me was bang out of order. That fucking defending for it. And Pennington's been one of our best players this season, but that effort by him, just allowing Klein to glide past him like he was a piece of piss.
Another reason why we need a three-man midfield.
Well, but I think it's more attitude at that point. Players gave up because even beforehand, the Brisbane players were just keeping the ball, taking the piss, and then Klein goes, well, fuck it, I might as well go for number
Yeah.
two.
Finish from Klein, by the way.
As
Take nothing away from that finish.
Brilliant finish, but you could see after that goal happened, I immediately looked at Zrilla, and then he just went fuck off and then walked straight to the bench.
Yep.
And then you could also see Murchula cracking the shits also. And it's
Yep.
like, that's the kind of thing that pisses me off. It's like, whether you're the best player in the team or the worst player in the team, you got to put in the work, you got to defend. And I thought Pennington's effort for that was fucking abysmal from a player that's been usually 8 or 9 out of 10. He was fucking shit. What's up, Josh?
You look like an excited dog. It's got my fucking.
He's got notes.
Oh.
Yeah, and Alex is reading my notes. He's like, yeah, because.
All right, what are your thoughts on the goal?
As someone who was sitting right field side on that side of the pitch where he got the ball and watching Zrilla and all of it, I can't remember the exact players he went around to get into the box to even have the shot, but he genuinely, it was traffic cones.
Yeah.
Like
He walked his way through.
He genuinely walked his way through. No one put a foot in. Everyone just, hold the left trigger button, jockeying, but no one actually decided to try.
AI defending.
James, as a coach, you'd know this. You know when you're doing a drill and you just tell your defenders, just defend passively. Defend passively.
Yep.
That is genuinely what it was.
It's very passive.
I'm not going to take away anything from
defend
him.
in
That was
position,
great.
but
It
don't
was a very
tackle.
good finish, yeah.
Defend in
Fantastic
position, but don't
finish.
tackle.
But
That's what it was.
I'm saying anyone who plays professional football gets a salary, gets on national television, whatever it was, because this was on Channel 10. This was a free.
It's on free-to-air TV.
This was a game, and I understand that we're not very good teams, but if you're in a position, if you're a defender who's made a career, you should be good enough to put a foot in there and win that ball, because he didn't do anything remarkable. It was a brilliant finish. He had the confidence to take it on. Fair play.
And then you had Mortar Curtis diving like he'd just been shot by a sniper.
Yeah.
It's like, do we really defend like that when we're at our best? Is that our best effort for defending? And I know it's been shit all season because we've conceded 48 goals after 21 games or something ridiculous like that.
Yes.
That is, and also, before Alex, you have your thoughts, I just thought I'd mention this. Where's that stat? Here we go.
Perth Glory have lost 16 points from winning positions in the A-League this season. Only MacArthur with 19 have lost more.
And they just dumped Newcastle. Was it Newcastle? No, it was Western.
No, it was Adelaide.
Adelaide 5-4. What a
5-4.
weird.
And we're on 11
weird
points.
game.
So
Such a weird game of football.
Yeah.
So there we go. Any thoughts on that? So any more thoughts on that that goal from Klein,
No.
Josh? No.
Not really. It was just a great finish.
Yeah.
I did like the chants, by the way, from the shed. Every time Joel was on the ball, they go, Joel.
Yeah, that was good.
That was
What
beautiful.
about the one at the end? We're shit.
We're fucking shit.
Or sacked in the morning. Oh, that was
Well,
good.
did any of the second morning come out?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we may as well get to the main talking point.
The meat and potatoes, boys.
Boom.
I
So
just want to say before
you
this,
go on.
I was going to insert it somewhere. I don't know if I'd say it at the start or the end, but honestly, like the past few games anyway, like I'm a loyal supporter. I have been for the past how many years. I love going to the, even last year we got the spoon, but I loved going to the games, and I've said this many times. Only reason I go to the games is because I have a membership. I genuinely feel dragged to the games. I don't want to go.
I genuinely think if I didn't do YouTube matchday vlogs, I would not have gone to any games past the Newcastle game. I genuinely
that's
felt that.
I genuinely like. Obviously my mates are going, so like I'm happy to go with them, but I just don't feel like
There's no incentive to go to
because I'm
Top Glory.
like the last game of the season against Adelaide in the coming weeks. I don't want to go to that because I know we're not going to win. I know that's a bad mentality to have, but
But it's fair
the
though.
players don't really give a shit.
I agree with you on this, and I've said this because my family get memberships every year, and and I said to them, I was like, well, obviously this is the topic we're moving on to now, but if nothing changes in the management by the time we get to the kickoff of next season,
Or even after the international break.
or anything, if we get to round one next season and Zrilla's still here and all that blah blah blah, and Stan is still doing his, if he's been accountable and he's still here and he's not being stupid anymore, then fine. But I won't be getting membership if things don't change.
We may as well set the scene because I put out a few comments from
Can I return
from key people.
TikTok.
tick
Yeah, I thought I'd include the TikTok gift
in
today.
the gift? Yes. that
Yeah.
was very true.
So we'll start with Rosario, who said on Sports Day, the Pete Vlahos's radio show in April last year, he said, I want to get back to the top of the table fairly quickly next season. I wanted us to be in the finals in that wooden spoon season, but unfortunately we couldn't make it. But next year I'm not going to accept failure. It gets better with Stanley's comments.
So let's sack Stad.
Hold on. Stan said a couple of weeks later on that same program, we're going to be extremely competitive, and I really think that we're going to be vying for the top 6. We ain't going to be finishing bottom of the table, and we're not going to be conceding as many goals as you mentioned. He then said, finally, if I don't deliver for this club and we're having this conversation this time next year and we're not competitive and we're not doing what I promised, I won't be here either. I think that set a precedent.
See you later.
I'm sorry. That has set a precedent and a standard for changes to occur, and I think it's very fucking obvious. Both David and Stan are probably great people, and I know Stan is a good person, having spoken to him for about half an hour after that meeting. But just because you're a nice guy, and you perform poorly at your job, doesn't mean that you should still be in your job. There was a standard that was set by Ross Pelligra and Stan Lazaridis. We weren't holding them at gunpoint saying, you guys have got to say we're going to make the top of the table next year, or you've got to sign wow signings. No. They said that with a clear mind, clear head. They said what they said. They set the standard.
Yep.
And we've not progressed. We've gone fucking backwards. And we're still last.
But not even like last. It's like weird.
It's
worse.
Panic stations. It is panic stations. It is alarm bells. And that is knowing that we've even made changes to the squad by bringing in more experienced players. Bar Patrick Wood, everyone had a fair bit of experience coming in and had some form of success, or just a good player in general. Our average age, I'm pretty sure, in the game on the weekend was 28.4 or something like that. So we've totally shifted from our initial strategy of wanting to develop young players to the point where, well, now we're just going to go with all experience and flip the script, and we still can't win games. So for me, there is no ambition in this football club if there is not the departures, by choice or by not, of David Drulich and Stan Lazaridis at the end of the season or by the end of the international break, because a sense of standards must be met at this football club.
1,000,000% agree. And I will say, the way things are going, I know I had my very sad instrumental video from a few weeks back.
That will resurface one day.
I'm sure.
We'll resurface right now. Please play that.
No, look, it was my attempt at a bit of comedy and a bit of just like, this is how desperate I am to the point where I just want answers because I'm so sad. But I will give credit where it's due. Look, we have a squad. I understand some of the squad didn't have a pre-season, so they're not fully fit. No, the whole fitness thing, whatever. Yeah. But I don't think there's many people you'd ask and said, do we have a better squad this year or last year? It's this year. With this current squad we're using now.
Well, especially after the transfer window.
We have a much better squad than we did last season. Much less injuries. You know, we've had a lot of this squad has had a lot of time to gel, mostly, besides the new guys that have come in. And yet we have looked 3 steps below what we were last season, attacking and defending wise. It's awful. It is genuinely awful. And if you go through goals conceded last season, you can really get rid of the last few rounds when people knew they were losing their jobs and we conceded 7 and 8.
They down tools. Look at Western Sydney are now.
Yeah, because they've got a proven A-League manager. Who would have thought that was going to happen?
Stadge had the last laugh.
He did, and fair play to him. I've never really had much bad to say about Stadge other than he was kind of funny and he talked funny. But he's a good manager.
Oh, God, Will.
I don't know if you can say that about
I
my
can
brother.
because you guys do an impersonation of him. I can't say it sounds funny.
It's not an impersonation. It is a tribute to the great
Stadge man.
Stadge.
Well, this is
the great Stadge man.
The great Stadge man. But this is the thing.
Great Stadge man.
I know the wheels fell off at the end of last season.
Yeah.
But look at Western Sydney and how they performed recently against Melbourne Victory at home. The premise always was, if you gave Stadge good players, he will cook.
Give him time, give him money.
That's the thing.
Well.
But we made it clear you're not part of our plans, and we're going to go for Zrilla, which we at the time probably all of us said, all right, let's give it a go. Let's see how it pans out.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't be now trying to force our head through the wall saying this is gonna fucking work. It should just be no, it hasn't worked. Rip the band-aid off, as you said last podcast, because that was where I said no, I'm done with Zrilla. And I think you were of the view, Alex, if we lost to Brisbane, you would be done with Zrilla.
I was already done by that point. I said that mainly because if we lost to Brisbane, I would genuinely have nothing left to cling on to.
Yeah, there was nothing.
At least if we don't finish the Spoon, I'd say, okay, well, I want Zrilic gone, but at least we're not the Spoon again. No, now we are the Spoon again.
We're the Spoon again, and the people above Brisbane above us have 2 games in hand.
I am finito, finished.
Any thoughts, Josh? Go
I
on.
don't
Let
know what
rip.
to say.
Let rip.
Get that censor button ready.
No, but I'm just I'm so over it. Like they've promised improvement every year, and it's just like, at what point does it get to genuinely are we gonna have to fold the club? Because at what point does it get to it's utterly ridiculous.
I don't think we're going to get to that point because I still think because we're the only team in WA that plays in the A-League in terms of so we are a market.
Yeah, but it can't be so hard to run a club. I know it's easier.
Well, if you don't have the right people running it,
manager, it's actually quite difficult.
Yeah, true. But if you don't have the right people running it, then you're fucked.
Yeah,
as we're seeing.
And I will give credit to Ross where it is due. He has provided us with a good enough squad that should at least be competing for top 6. In my opinion, we should be beating teams like Brisbane fairly comfortably.
If we were serious and if David Zrilic was going to be the one to lead this club moving forward, we should not be coming out of this period post-bye with all these new players in with 0 wins.
Correct.
We should have had a few wins by now.
It's crazy thinking about where we were sort of at the start of the season, where a lot of it was, give Zrilic time, give Stan a chance to
we gave him
sort of
time.
redeem himself.
We weren't really.
We were all like, fucking Ross.
Yeah.
But now it's genuinely the opposite.
No.
With Zrilic and Stan, I am done. I am done. Ross has a chance to redeem himself. Look, I don't expect him to make a change before the season ends because it's just going to be.
He did it at Catania.
Oh, I want to know what's funny.
It's just going to listen. It's just going to be too much kerfuffle, right?
Good international break.
If at the end of the season, right, Zrilic and Stan both go, and he works hard to get us an experienced coach who can perform at this level given those circumstances, as well as getting us a proper director of football that actually knows what the hell they are doing.
Jacob Burns.
I would love Jacob Burns.
Get him
If you
back,
gave me
please.
Jacob Burns and John Brady, I would be revving up those engines.
Move back to
Oh, it was actually funny. Me and
Rev
James
up
were
those
saying in the
tires.
car because like we were both away. We haven't seen because we were away for the Auckland game. We haven't seen our team win.
We've not gone to win this season.
Yeah, look, it was a good game to go to. Sorry, guys. Sorry you missed that.
Yeah, sorry you missed that.
Unlucky
boys.
lads.
Oh well, that's all right.
Can't believe I left.
We put out a poll on our X page asking the fans if sorry on Twitter. Oh shit, shoot me. If we were to make a change to replace Driller, who would you like to see the club go for? The overwhelming favourite among the fans was Mark Rudin.
No,
I
it's
guarantee you.
not.
I guarantee, James. I guarantee you, not a single one of the people that voted for Rudin were a Perth Glory fan, and that is your fault for putting him on there.
That is very true.
If you put the Rizzler on there instead of Rudin, I guarantee you would have got the same result.
I know, well, no, but it's
This is
no.
true.
I'm joking. The overwhelming favourite. So we had 112 votes.
Yep.
The overwhelming favourite was Nick Montgomery,
Fair.
and I think that's fair. It's like
Proven.
he's proven.
Yep.
We should probably read out what the options
Sorry,
were.
the
They were
option-
Nick
Nick
Montgomery,
Montgomery-
John Brady, Des Buckingham, and Marco Rudin.
Yeah, and I probably expected both Brady and Buckingham to not get many votes because they're sort of left field options. But I think Montgomery being the overwhelming favourite, well, it's not a surprise because we could say that Stadge last year was in ways a statement appointment, but we've not really made like a proper statement of intent since 2018 when we got
Montgomery
Popper.
would be a statement.
It'd be the same as us getting Popper. And if Ross wants to show that he's serious about making this club one of the very best in the country, because if you go all the way back to 2003 when the A-League was about to be formed, Soccer Australia at the time called Perth Glory a living model for other clubs to follow. So, we're not a fucking living model to follow right now. We're the complete opposite.
Dead model.
We're a dying
Let's
model.
bring in Nick, Martin Boyle, Jack Iredale.
Get all the Hibs boys over.
So what you're saying is
Yeah,
just sign
unlikely.
everyone from Hibs.
Why
Yes.
on earth would
Affiliate
they
club.
leave to come to Perth?
This is why Ross needs to show that he can sell a good project and show that he's
The
very
man
good
can
at his
sell
job.
a house like nothing. Can he please sell a project to a player?
Well,
Iredale is loved at Hibs.
Yeah.
Like, he is a fan favourite. I just can't see a world
This
where
is
he gives up.
This is the thing, though, right? We've not had
Mate,
this
Jack
much.
Idale's the least
Hold on.
of my concerns.
We've not had this much government support and council support and corporate support
Yeah.
in a long time since Ross has been our owner.
This
So
is true.
clearly he can sell himself or sell the club well enough.
Yeah.
He has an obligation and a mandate that has been set by the members and fans
Yep.
to cut this shit that we're seeing, grow a pair of balls, and go and get Nick Montgomery. First of all, below him, though, Stan also has to find his balls, walk into David's office and say, look, we gave it a go, but it hasn't worked. Sorry.
Au revoir.
You know,
You need to do two walks. One is walk into David's office, say it's done.
Yep.
Turn around and walk into Ross's office and
say,
hand in his
"I'm done."
resignation.
Well, but as for as much as we're taking the piss, it's like, well, we've got two guys that are learning on the job, and we're seeing it.
I don't even think I can put that much blame on Stan anymore because I look at every single one of the players he signed, and we can agree.
Yeah.
Every single one of the players that he signed in that January window.
Yeah.
Were good signings.
I agree.
Apart from maybe Paddy Wood, but I
This-
have a feeling that was more down to Driller.
I agree because, like, he apologised, to a degree after the first window and said, "Look, I kind of got it wrong."
Really?
You know,
okay, so what? Signing two mid-30s.
I thought you were going to say
fullbacks.
Middle Eastern, bro.
Okay.
Nah.
No, but on cheap deals.
But on cheap deals, 6-month deals
Yep.
to provide cover. And
Yeah.
you look at the fact that in terms of their numbers and their metrics in the J League, they were very
One of them won the
impressive
Asian
performers.
Champions League.
Exactly.
Yeah, like-
Misao and Okamoto, statistically, were very impressive performers and
Yeah.
have probably been two of our, not best, but better players since they've come into
They
the
have
side.
they have done well, and no, I'm with Alex here because I will give credit to Stan. Look, again, like James said, I don't think he's a bad guy. I really don't. It's just
He's not.
He's learning on
He
the job.
clearly cares,
He
doesn't
clearly also cares. He's just learning what he can and can't say.
I genuinely believe if Stan didn't say so much dumb shit at the start of the season,
Yeah.
we would not even be including him in this
No.
This is
conversation.
completely fair.
But
Yeah.
If Stan had just not said anything and worked as a silent assassin director of football,
Yeah.
we would not be including him in this. It would be purely on Dave. But the fact that Stan has put all these,
we're gonna win the league next season.
all these expectations on us.
That's fucking stupid. He slipped up again.
Already under that much pressure, and then on camera saying next year we'll win the fucker as we're about to get the spoon.
But this is the thing as well, though. Imagine you're Ross Pelligra, right? And you have a reputation for developing projects or properties that are in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Right?
Yep.
Would you be hiring, and I asked Ross this, would you be hiring two guys that are inexperienced, one of them not even qualified for his role, to run those projects that he clearly has a very good reputation for?
And what did he say?
Well, no. The answer should be no.
Yeah,
Ross should be saying no to that.
Of course.
But it's like, why are we being treated as like one of those guinea pig experiments? And like, let's.
On another note, we would like to announce that our own James Renton will be running for Prime Minister of Australia.
Yeah, sure, vote for me. No, but the point is that you would not be putting in inexperienced and unqualified people learning on the job in a massive project.
Spot on.
How can we take you seriously if you're wanting us to be a powerhouse club and you've got guys that multiple people within the know have said they are learning on the job?
Yeah.
How the fuck is that acceptable?
You can't have, we're going to push for the top 6 and we're going to be really competitive and,
I won't tolerate failure.
Yeah, we won't, but also here's two guys and not really sure what they're doing yet, they're still learning. You can't have both.
No.
So which one is it going to be? And I will quote Ross on something he said. He's going to communicate with the fans and learn from the fans and what we want. Hasn't been a lot of that happening.
No.
And I will say, Ross, again, what we want to know is which is it going to be? Are we going to be a learn and grow club where it's going to take a long time for us to get somewhere? Or are we going to be a win now? Like you said, what is it? Which is it going to be?
He and Stan said very confidently in the pre-season, win now.
Yeah, exactly.
In essence, like make the finals. Like Stan himself said, it's not going to take 3, 4, 5 years.
Yep.
We're going to be extremely competitive. We're going to.
What is it now, though? That's what I need to know. Like, where are we going now?
Well, stick to a fucking strategy. That's the thing. Instead of picking and choosing, stick to a fucking strategy. And Ross has a reputation of wanting to win and wanting to get to the very top very quickly. The same that he's done with Catania. That's the thing. You don't if you're not wanting to win now, why else would he okay Vince Grella to go after two very experienced, incredible people to run Catania, like I mentioned to you before, of Daniele Fagiano and Domenico Toscano to both be the director of football and head coach, respectively.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you look at our situation, we've not been well run since we had Burns and Popper. And there was a standard that was set. Now it's like we're accepting a really shit standard. Richard Garcia was sacked for far less. And I'll put my hand up. I criticised Richie during his tenure. Yeah. But it never, ever got as bad as this.
Yeah, but no.
Completely deserved as well.
Oh, yeah. You weren't wrong for criticism. Because there's bad, and then there's bad, and then there's bad.
This is ugly.
This is ugly, right?
This is ugly.
So, if someone's underperforming as Richie was, he gets the sack. That's fair. That's normal. In the circumstances, if we look at even Kenny, right, and he got criticised for also way less, and you look at how far Stadge, how far back do you want to go? You want to go back to Edwards. That was he got criticised for much less. Again, there was a bit of favouritism with playing his
The results weren't that bad. You can even go to Ron Smith.
Yeah,
and even then
that was just embarrassing.
Yeah, this is genuinely. I've watched being an Everton fan, I've gone through so many different managers in both the teams I support all the time. And I will say that this run that we've been on is genuinely the worst run I have seen by any club that I take an interest in, but yet he's still here. And that to me is so bewildering.
It speaks volumes also, the fact that there's been complete radio silence.
I just want, if you're not going to...
We deserve a statement at least.
Something. Yeah. If you're not going to... if you're not going to sack him and you still believe in him, fine.
Based on what?
Yeah, but if you do, let's just move past the point of how stupid that might sound.
Yeah.
Why? I want to know why. I want a statement to at least say, look, we're really sorry this season was awful for what we promised you. We got nothing. Sorry for the money you've spent. Sorry for the time you've given us, coming to our games and supporting us. Because I'll say this, our attendance has not been bad.
We had a better attendance than Adelaide, Newcastle and Melbourne City for this week in the game week.
For absolute trash football.
But you know what the club might do to justify it?
What?
To keep David?
What?
Or Stan? They'll say, we've learned our lessons. They'll do the whole we've learned our lessons. We were getting our feet under the desk, and then we're just going to go again next season.
But we could sit here for hours and say how he's not learned his lesson or whatever. At the end of the day, I'm kind of tired of, saying why is he still here? Because I thought I would have left and come back and he'd be gone by now. Because it was bad when I left, and somehow it's worse now. But I went through Rafa Benitez at Everton, Liverpool spy coming in and ruining us, selling our best players and then dipping, right?
Yeah.
And he got sacked within half a year. He didn't even last a whole season, and yet we still won a few games at least. And Deitch was here for who knows how long. But my point is that I don't know how you can win 2 games out of 21.
Score 14 and concede 48.
And you are still not alone. You're not still in the job. No one higher up who none of your bosses have said, at least publicly, get your act together. It wouldn't be an embarrassment if Ross just said, we need to be better. He needs to be better.
If our goal difference goes down by 5 over the final 5 games this season,
which it probably will,
we will equal Central Coast Mariners' record for the worst goal difference ever, which was -39 back in season 18-19, ironically the season where we won the Premier's Plate.
Right, so we're going to have the worst goal difference because there's no way we're playing against the Western United and we're not conceding
or
4.
Auckland away.
There's no way.
We're
Auckland, we're genuinely going to lose like an 8-0.
We're fucked. Because that's the thing.
We're going to have the worst
Because
season
people can say, well, at least we're not losing 7-8-0 like we did at the back end of last season. They're coming. If that performance against Brisbane was anything to go by, those 7-8-0s are coming. They're coming back.
Yeah,
because you can't tell me that
expiring contracts are going to.
Well, but no one from the club can pull the wool over our eyes and try to con us and say the players are giving everything for David Drilic.
Absolutely
but even beyond that, they're giving everything for the people of Perth, the state of Western Australia. We're getting represented on the national stage, and it's like a piss take.
Yeah.
So there has to be some accountability, and it has to start with Ross. He has to set some standards, and he needs to make some changes, and he needs to get the message down to everyone from top to bottom. If you don't perform, you're gone.
Yeah.
No excuses. Was there anything else that we wanted to touch on the situation?
Congrats to my goat, Adam Taggart, for making the international.
Congrats to Alex Grant as well.
Oh, yeah, he did
Future
make it, didn't he?
Perth Glory.
I love how all the Sydney
Jason
teams,
Davidson.
all the Sydney FC supporters are like, he doesn't deserve it.
Can I just say, okay, we're in big year 2025.
Yeah.
And Jason Davidson has just been selected for the most crucial Socceroos qualifiers we've had in a long time.
Was Jack Iredale selected?
Nope. No Callum Elder. No Casey Boss.
Proper anti-West Australians.
Honestly. What?
No.
You did a live stream on it, Alex. Leave it there.
Fine.
Leave it there.
I will say also shout out to Tags again. He came down to where I was sitting and he gave his shirt to one of the kids. He just...
Did you say hi to him?
Huh?
Did you say sup, Tags?
Yeah, I just said hello and I just left. I came down to meet you guys.
Shout out to Cam Cook. He came down and said hi to us as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, a bit more of an unknown one among a lot of Glory fans, but I did hear quite a lot of it. Quite a lot of talk about it at the Glory MPL from a few people. Quick shout out to Max Naylor. For those of you that might not know, Max is a young striker with our Glory MPL. Absolutely tore it up in the night series. Only 16 years old. Recently just turned 17, I think, a week ago. Unfortunately, in hospital right now with a possibly serious medical condition. So
not good.
Prayers out to Max Naylor. Hope you get better, buddy. He's got a real future if he can
also credit to
Sorry, it's just dangerous.
No, but this is
he's got a really
important.
big future. Oh, also.
Yeah, but this is also really important.
No, this is really important. Credit to the Shed M Perth for doing their fundraiser for the game, which was donated to the Australian Road Safety Foundations, where they managed to raise just under $1,000, $935.
Lovely.
So, hey, credit to that. It's good to see the fan groups getting involved and good outcome. And I guess that's maybe one of the only other positives from the game, because we have the international bye until March 30 when we play Mariners away.
Yeah.
I don't have any other thoughts for that other than if we do not have a new coach in by then, forget about it.
Oh, actually, that's something fun. Let's do predictions. Is Drilla going to be gone by that game? Yes or no?
Well, let's predict the score first.
Do
Do a score prediction first.
Fine.
Okay,
Josh, go.
Against
Mariners.
What's the score going to be?
4-0.
Yikes. Alex? 2 to who?
4-0 to Mariners.
Is that even right? Yeah.
Is that even a question?
Unless the new manager bounce.
I'm gonna say. Oh shit! I don't even fucking know.
2-0 to Mariners.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Mariners. Pippa set.
Oh man, it's gonna be easy.
It's
not gonna be close.
And then to answer the question, is Driller going to stay? Yes, I think he will stay. I think it's unlikely he'll be sacked in this international break.
I don't think he'll be sacked before the end of the season. I'll be completely.
But I think
he'll get sacked at the end.
I think there's a possibility that we line up a replacement before the end of the season. I don't think Driller gets sacked.
I think there has to be a look, and there's coaches available.
Yeah,
like. For as much as we were, I said John Brady, Nick Montgomery would be a great appointment, but for as much as we've sort of hold on. This is gonna go down to shit. But I if it came to it, I would not say no to Mark Rudin, even if it ends up in flames. Like it usually does. Hold on, because we turned our nose up at John Aloisi at the end of last season. Look at what he's doing with Western United.
Yeah, but we didn't turn our nose up at him because we thought he was because of a bad person. Because we didn't think he'd be a good coach. I'm saying no to Rudin because he's not a good bloke.
If we had standards,
fuck it, we're gonna go down in flames.
If we had standards, we'd bring him in now.
You know what? We're getting Rudin. Screw it, boys. Ben Yedder, get him in. Greenwood, get him in. Quincy Promise. Get him in.
Season, show that we actually care and bring him in now.
Get Brady.
Look, I'm not. This is all obviously alleged. There's no one. This hasn't been proven. But from everything that we have seen about Rudin outside of football, I wouldn't be happy.
No, it's membership in the microwave material. But if we're going to be stingy and not look outside,
I would rather have Dave. Genuinely, morally,
I think I would as well. To be honest,
what did he do again? Didn't he like?
No, leave it there. You can Google it.
Well,
if
we
you
don't know if he did it, but just the way he presents himself in interviews sometimes. What he
big allegedly over this entire segment.
No, but it's just the way he also presents himself. He gets very angry at.
So he likes to drink
reporters and
stuff.
stuff.
He likes to punch.
That dude's going home.
The bigger question should be though, if we're wanting a new coach, what qualities should that new coach have?
They need to be able to coach.
Okay, that's it. Thanks, Alex. Aside from the obvious,
I think more importantly, they need to
get in there.
They need to introduce standards and bring the group together. Because from how I'm looking from the outside in,
doesn't look good.
It just doesn't look like they're a group.
I will say what we want. What do you want from a coach? Is honestly, if you could combine Kenny Lowe's enthusiasm and ability, ability to get the squad together. You know, he might not have been the best tactically. You know, I wasn't on the inside.
It's okay.
But his ability to get the squad behind him and want to play for him was really good.
And Stadge.
Kenny Lowe's leadership, Messi's left foot, Ronaldo's heading.
The leadership of Stadge and Kenny, the ability to want the squad want to play, and the tactical ability of someone like Popper. That to me is what you want. I know that's a really big ask, but I just think it's so underrated how important it is for a manager to have a presence that the players want to be behind.
Nick Montgomery or John Brady, they're your two options.
Montgomery's perfect. It done. Montgomery for me is perfect.
You reckon Ange might be interested if he gets sacked from Tottenham?
Arnold isn't kicking coach for the rugby, so let's
because if we get Arnold, this might actually be the start of our Ted Lasso run, where we hire a coach from outside of football.
If we hire Arnold, I'm sorry, mate. I'll go.
He's going to get the try.
How was that offside?
I'll delete all those tweets from you from the Socceroos if you are hired.
God.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Look, it's just at the end of the day, podcast summary. It's really bad. I want change. It's probably not going to happen. So
but
I'm just
do it anyway, fuckers.
Yeah, please. At this point, what else you got? What have you got to lose if not to change? Is there anything else we have left to actually lose at this point? Like we have no resort. We have nothing left.
Nothing.
Yeah, don't. Yeah,
I just thought of something funny, but I'll say it after we cut the episode because I can't say it.
Josh, what do you want?
If any of the players are actually listening to this, I genuinely think our squad has the potential to do very well.
I agree.
And I'm not saying it's your ability, but I think it's your mentality. And I think there's an issue. And just because you don't believe in your coach, at least play for the fans.
I agree. You know, if he's lost the dressing room and you feel unmotivated, totally understandable. I would be in the same position looking at where we are and how we've been playing. However,
play for us,
please.
The fans, not us four, but as in the guys that go because you've only got one chance.
You can play for us four if you'd like.
No. You've only got one chance, and that's against Adelaide.
Yeah.
Most people are expecting that to be a bloodbath.
Yes.
if
one of the
Adelaide,
most offensive juggernaut teams in the league. So they love to score goals.
so we could be in a world of shit, but we just have to see how things go. And on that bombshell,
On a more positive note,
Yep.
to end, the next coach that comes in is going to have a really good crop of young players. Considering that I've also watched the NPL, we have a really good team.
he will.
Except for Pearman and probably Labib, it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Who we didn't get really anything for.
Pearman
That's
maybe
great.
gone,
Whatever.
Labib gone, but you got plenty of young
There's
players.
plenty coming
Majex,
Yeah.
Franey, Anasmo, Kwa, Bulgaria. There's a lot of good young talents that need to be
100%
nurtured.
agree.
There's a lot of good ones.
If there's anything that WA is good at, it's good at producing talent. So at least we know we have that.
Why is Majex not playing? He's so
Ask
good.
David.
I don't
Why
know,
is
man.
Lockie Wells playing on the wrong side of the field?
Ask David.
Why was Pearman down like playing defensive?
Ask
mid?
David.
Why is it that Ollie Sale seems to be our playmaker with booting up field out of bounds?
Ask
Throw it
David.
down,
Why is Trent Osler?
Anyway,
And thank you all so much for watching episode 29 of the Glory Days podcast. Welcome back, Will. Thank you all so much for supporting
Make
us.
sure to flame us in the comments below.
Absolutely,
just
please.
flame him.
No,
Like,
no,
he
no,
said
no.
some really- he said some
We are
really
all
bad
on the
stuff.
pod.
I do not deserve it. I absolutely do not deserve it.
Bullshit.
At all. Anyways, thank you all so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks'
Couple weeks'
time
time.
for the epic
Meltdown.
analysis for our game coming up against Central Coast Mariners. In between then, we're going to have the Socceroos, so hopefully our WA boys do well and we don't do absolute shit, even though I will come back to this in 2 weeks and complain about how we are the worst side on earth. Apart
Fairs.
from that, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all later.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.